The Food and Wine Festival has arrived in Epcot, and I'm here today to try all of the food. I'll be giving you 100% honest reviews of over 30 food and drinks. And at the end, I'll fill you in on my top bites of the festival and let you know what foods you should probably skip. This is the ultimate foodie guide to Epcot's Food and Wine Festival. It is time for another festival here in Epcot, and as per usual, we have so much food to try. Let's head right to Sunshine Seasons in the Land Pavilion to get our day started. So here at Seasons, they just recently introduced some specialty milkshakes to the menu. And since it is the Food and Wine Festival, we've of course got a specialty food and wine milkshake with Remy on it. This Remy Milkshake is actually a strawberry cheesecake milkshake topped with a cookie, a mini cheesecake, a white chocolate Eiffel Tower, and a strawberry for $10.99. So the really cool thing about the milkshakes here from Seasons is that they're always loaded milkshakes. So you've got the milkshake in the cup, and then you've also got a ton of different desserts on the top of your cup. So we've got a milkshake, we've got a cookie, we've got a cheesecake that's shaped like cheese, we've got a strawberry, and we've got some more chocolate pieces on the top. So it's $10.99 for a milkshake and then a couple other desserts. So it feels like you're getting a couple desserts for the price of $10.99. So I always feel like it's a pretty good deal to me, but the real thing we gotta see is, does it taste good? So let's try out our first food of the Food and Wine Festival here at Seasons. Let's see how it tastes. I gotta say, guys, I have had a couple of the past milkshakes that they have had here at Seasons, and this is probably the best tasting ones. I usually say I love the toppings and they're so fun, but the flavor of the milkshake is usually just pretty average. But here, this milkshake is actually tasting great. You get those strawberry flavors, and you actually get like some fresh chunks of strawberry in there as well. And you also get the hint of cheesecake in there. You'll get those like little sour hints as well. Man, this delivers on those strawberry cheesecake flavors. This is a really good milkshake. I would even go as far as saying one of the better milkshakes I've had at Disney World, because sometimes they're that like light, foamy, gross consistency. No, this is a good, thick milkshake. Really, really solid. Really good start to our day, and we've also got all those extra desserts on top, so it's a win-win. Very happy with this. It's really good, so come get it from here at Seasons. Next up, I made my way over to the booths on the side of Figment to hit up Bramblewood Bites. This booth, I think, was introduced last year, and they have a couple things I wanted to try. So we ended up getting two things. We got a little food, we got a little beverage, and I figured we'd start by trying this beer. This is the 81 Bay Brewing Company Nitro Bananas Foster Cream Ale. The 6 ounce of it cost me $5.75, but if you wanted the 12 ounce, that'll cost you $9.75. Yeah. It's funny, they say this is 6 ounces, but I'd say it's more like maybe 4.5, and the person actually in front of me was not very happy because he actually ordered the 12 ounce and his was more like maybe 8. There was a lot of foam on this beer, and apparently that's the way they were instructed to pour it, but beware, there's a lot of foam on this, so I don't know if they're gonna change the way they're pouring this or what, but your cup is gonna be about a quarter foam when you get this. So this is what it leveled down to when all the foam kind of fizzled out of this beer. But I'm not usually a beer person, but banana cream ale sounded really good to me. So we'll see how it is. Keep in mind, not a big beer person, but the banana cream intrigued me. Not very heavy on the banana flavor. I gotta say, it's there. It's very slightly there, but it's not a super strong banana-y kind of flavor. And look at that. About 2 sips, it's already gone, because it was already almost gone when I got it. But yeah, probably wouldn't get this again. If you're looking for a real banana cream flavor, probably don't expect it from this one. Now for the cast iron seared river trout. This is served with a vanilla butternut squash puree, Brussels sprout salad, candied pecans, spiced pumpkin seeds, dried cranberries, and a maple dressing for $7.25. I'm not sure if I have ever had trout before, actually, which is kind of why I wanted to get this here. They are grilling it up fresh right next to the booth, and they're grilling up. They have a pork tenderloin dish as well that they're grilling up fresh right next to the booth as well. And look at how good and crispy this skin on the top looks. Can you guys hear that? I'm gonna put it right next to my mic. That is exactly what I want when I get any type of like fish. I want that skin to be super crispy. And it looks to be cooked really well. We've got that Brussels sprout salad there. I don't know, guys, this looks good. It says it has like a butternut squash puree with vanilla, which sounds a little interesting, but this fish looks quite tasty. So we'll dig into it. It's really juicy, I gotta say. He's serving like what looks to be very good quality fish from a festival booth. I'm impressed so far. Wow, this fish, it tastes as juicy as it looks. It is so good. And I said I've never had trout before. It reminds me so much of like salmon. It's so, it doesn't have that much seasoning, I feel, but it's so flavorful on its own that it doesn't need it. And you get a lot of flavor from that butternut squash puree underneath and this Brussels sprout salad as well, with all of the seeds and the cranberries in it. Honestly, this is like a good tiny meal here in Epcot. I actually really love this. I think all the flavors work well together, and it's a good like fall dish with the Brussels and the butternut squash. Really good. I like this fish a lot. Right next door to Bramblewood Bites, we have the Mulled and Mulled booth, where they have a couple foods I wanted to try as well. We have got 2 desserts, a brand new one and an old favorite, as well as a new soup. The first dessert we're gonna get to is the apple cinnamon and caramel mini churro sundae. This is served with a melted vanilla bean gelato for $5.25. Okay, so yes, this is definitely way more melted now, but I will have you know, from the moment we picked this up, my mom is actually here. She said before they even gave it to her, it was melted, which is very unfortunate. I know people are always like, what do you expect? It's Florida. Of course the ice cream's gonna melt. What I expect is before they give it to me for it to not be melted. I expect at least that, but this is definitely more of like a fork. You need a fork to eat this because we've got the apple pie topping on there. We've got a thick caramel as well. And these do not look like your typical Disney churros. They are very soft and mushy, I will say. The flavor is really good. I love that apple on there. I'm a sucker for anything apple pie, so of course. But the churro I got was so mushy because it was under all of those toppings. There's a couple of churros that are on the side here that don't have any of the topping on there, so I want to get one of those churros. Yeah, that one's a little more crunchy, and then we'll dip that one in the topping, and look at how thick that caramel looks. Okay, yes, it is so much better like that. And guys, look at what I just realized. These are not just regular churros. These churros are actually stuffed with apple pie filling. Do you see that? These little pockets of goodness are so delicious. It's just hard for them to stay crunchy with that extra apple pie filling on top. And since it has it on the inside, I really don't think you need it on the top too. It just makes it soggy, you know? But if you're looking for churros, I mean, these are good. These are so much better than the ones you get in the park. Come get these before you get one from like a churro cart. These are good. Let's just continue with the desserts from Mulled and Mulled. We have the freshly baked carrot cake here. This has walnuts and a cream cheese icing for $5. Now this carrot cake always used to be in the America booth, but recently they've kind of been moving it around, and I always love this carrot cake. It's served warm and it's always loaded up with that cream cheese frosting. I mean, just look at how much extra cream cheese frosting is on that plate. That's always the best part of it. And it's always, like I said, just warm and kind of like ooey gooey. I'm not like a huge carrot cake fan, but I always just love this one here. This carrot cake is so dense and so moist. It has such a strong like cinnamon vibe. Maybe that's why I like it so much. It is so cinnamony, and it kind of reminds me of like a cinnamon roll, I guess, especially with all of that cream cheese frosting that you got there. I genuinely think this is like probably one of my favorite carrot cakes. ever. I think it is so good. Mom, I think you're gonna love this one here.
The first time I'm ever having it, and it's really good. It's very cakey and light, and it was moist. I wish it had raisins or nuts in it.
It does have nuts. I like, you didn't get a crunchy nut? I love the crunchy nuts in there.
Did not. I love raisins and carrot cake. I know you wouldn't like that. Why? I don't even see any nuts.
Well, there is nothing like some warm soup on a 100-degree day. Our final food from the Mulled and Mulled booth is the butternut squash and ginger bisque. This has a cinnamon cream, toasted pumpkin seeds, and a pumpkin seed oil for $5.50. Luckily, we're eating this last, so it has had some time to cool down, but I will just never understand why they insist on serving such warm foods during the Food and Wine Festival. Like, I know in theory it is supposed to be fall during the Food and Wine Festival. However, during the fall months in Orlando, it is still 100 degrees pretty much at all times. So it is not ideal temperatures to be eating soup, to be eating warm, cheesy dishes, but they still do it anyway. So we've got our butternut squash soup here. It sounds really interesting with that cinnamon cream. It looked like a maple syrup on top, but it's that oil, and there's a sage leaf on here as well. It's a very thick soup, I must say. So I'm not sure how this is going to be. It's a new dish to the festival this year. I like that we've got the seeds on top, so we'll see how this is. You know, I don't love it. I don't like it. I don't absolutely hate it, but I would probably never get this again. Butternut squash, I'm iffy with, because you know, sometimes it reminds me of like a baby food kind of dish. The butternut squash puree we had with the trout earlier was perfect. It was a great consistency, and the flavor was really there to where it didn't have that baby food like flavor, texture, consistency, but this is just like a little too smooth and blended for me. I like those pumpkin seeds in there because it adds a little bit of a crunch and nuttiness that this dish kind of needs. I don't like that cinnamon cream in here, and it's just, this is not the temperature to be eating something like this. Like, I am just roasting out here right now. So the last thing I honestly want is butternut squash soup, but it was new to the festival, so I wanted to try it out, but probably not something I'd get again. A lot of the other stuff we've tried so far has been far better than this. Right down the walkway, we have the Forest and Field booth where we picked up 3 different things. First, we're gonna dig into the autumn chili featuring Impossible Beef. This is served with root vegetables, a plant-based cheddar, and plant-based sour cream in a bread bowl for $6.50. Now, they had this last year, and I remember getting it, and it was so incredibly oily, and it's different this year because it's served in a bread bowl, and I am so excited about that. I made a video a couple months ago where I said Disney World needs more bread bowls, and this looks like a good sourdough bread bowl, so I am definitely psyched about that. We've got some plant-based cheddar, some plant-based sour cream, and I like a good plant-based chili. I prefer Disney's plant-based chili to regular. Got a good scoop with a little bit of everything in there. See how it tastes. Okay, so this chili is definitely a massive improvement for last year. Definitely no more oil, so appreciate that. The chili itself is definitely like mush. The texture is off, which usually I don't have a texture issue with vegan chili, so that's a little weird. I do like the flavor of it a lot, though. It has a really great flavor. So the flavor's there, the texture's off, but what I'm really into is this sourdough here. We're gonna go for the cap. I'm hoping, it's a little like hard, like it's stale there. You could split it with me.
She's like, save it for me.
I was like, no, don't eat the cap. I love that.
I hope it's as good as the sourdough that they have in DCA. I don't know. It smells like it?
Smells like it.
Oh my God, it does.
We're pretty good.
It's just like stale.
Wow, that part.
It's been sitting out.
Yeah, but it has a nice crusty top.
I feel like they might have like cut this yesterday to prepare for the crowds today.
True.
But the flavor is there. It has that really good, like, what is it called? What is the bakery called?
Oh God.
Boudin.
Yeah.
Boudin Bakery or whatever it is over in DCA. Ooh, I love the sourdough here. It's just a little stale today, but the sourdough's on point. So honestly, I'd probably get it again just for the sourdough. We're moving on to the pumpkin mascarpone ravioli. These have a brown butter vinaigrette, pecorino cheese, pomegranate seeds, and a hazelnut praline for $5.50. I remember having these last year as well, and I didn't care for them either, but I wanted to give them another chance because this sounds like something that I would really enjoy, and the pomegranate and the sage on here sounds like a good combo. It sounds like it should be good, you know? So let's dig in here. The ravioli are nice and soft. This is just a bad fork. I'm not proving my point there. Okay. We've got the filling inside. Got a little pomegranate on the fork. Okay, I am really glad I gave this a second shot. It is so much better this time around. The pumpkin in there is honestly really good, and it's in like a brown butter sauce, and I think it pairs really good, the nuttiness, and you get those crunchy hazelnuts on the outside as well, and you get a little pop of freshness from those pomegranate seeds. I actually think this is so good this time around. It's not like super saucy, but I feel like that's exactly what this kind of ravioli here needs. I'm really glad I tried this time around, like I said, because so much better. Our final food is the schiaccia sandwich, and I am definitely mispronouncing that. It has mortadella, prosciutto, sun-dried peppers, arugula, stracciatella cheese, fall squash mostarda, and pistachio pesto on a warm focaccia for $6.25. For $6, this sandwich is actually like huge. Like, do you guys see this sandwich? This was only like $6. This is a ginormous sandwich, and there's quite a bit of meat on there. I'm not seeing that much of the cheese, which is honestly the main reason that I got this sandwich. I actually don't see any cheese really at all, but this has everything that I would like in it, and this bread here, really nice and crispy. So I have a feeling this is gonna be quite tasty. The peppers, the prosciutto, the pesto, all really good. I love the arugula as well. The kicker, that bread. This bread is so fantastic. It's fluffy, but then it's crispy on the top. It's really nice and toasted. It's really nice and salty as well. I definitely wish there was more of that stracciatella cheese because it would add like the perfect creaminess. I think they might have actually, maybe there's a little bit on the corner. I don't know. I think they actually might have forgotten it on this sandwich, but I can imagine if it was on here, it would just be even better. But as it is, I keep saying Disney World needs more sandwiches. There are so few places where you could just get a nice sandwich and it's perfect on a refreshing day. A lot of the things we've had today are warmer dishes. This is perfect for this hot weather. And this is something that I would definitely get over and over again. Great value as well. It's so huge. This is probably one of my favorite bites so far. Well, we wanted to hit up the BrewWing Lab at the Odyssey next because I really wanted some fried pickles. And Ryan, what did you want?
I was looking to get the Impossible spicy chicken tenders or their buffalo Brussels sprouts, but they got rid of those. But this line is really rough, and it's going to take us about an hour, so we're probably going to come back towards the end of the day, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Oh my gosh, it is a madhouse in here, guys. Everyone's here for the pickle milkshake, the fried pickles, which are a fan favorite. They are probably one of my favorite festival foods that come back every year, but we could barely even walk through here, so I think it's a no-go for right now. So instead of hitting up the BrewWing Lab, we made our way over to the Flavors from Fire booth. They, of course, have one of my festival favorites, the corned beef chips, and then they have a new dish that I really want to try, the Rodizio style grilled beef skewer. This is served with marble potatoes, charred shallots, roasted baby peppers, and chimichurri for $7. And let me just tell you, this is absolutely massive. I feel like if they just gave us one piece of this beef for $7, it would have been a good deal. But they gave us 2 pieces of beef, a couple of potatoes, and some peppers and onions. And they are grilling this fresh right outside of the booth. And it smells phenomenal. They're topping it with the chimichurri, a little finishing salt. And it not only smells phenomenal, it looks phenomenal as well. You can tell it's just fresh. It's cooked really well. Do you guys see that cooked there? Just how I like it. A nice medium rare. So if you want it more well done, you might have to ask them to leave it on the grill a little bit. But that chimichurri smells very fragrant as well. I'll tell you guys, right off the bat, this has potential to be a best of the fest dish. The value is there. $7 for this is insane. I feel like it's not going to stay like this for a while. I feel like they're going to reduce this to 1 piece of beef for sure. There's no way they're going to keep giving us 2 pieces of beef for this. These pieces of beef, I don't know if you could tell the pure size. This is huge. Like, do you see how big this piece of beef is? This right here is bigger than the piece of beef that they give you in Canada for the filet that is $10. 1 piece is bigger than the $10 piece of filet you get in Canada. It's not super tender. It's not going to be as good of a cut of beef, of course, but the flavor is so on point. It has a great crust, that great charring flavor. Oh my God. The grill flavor is so good on here, and that chimichurri is just fantastic. Seasoned so well. I'm gonna try these potatoes here too. This is a meal. This is a meal here. You've got potatoes, meat, and veggies. $7 for this. This is the price of a kid's meal. Come get this. My mom loved this so much, she is insisting she speaks on this beef dish.
Oh my God. So now her piece was rare, but mine was actually cooked more, and it easily cut with the plastic fork, knife. It was amazing. I love chimichurri sauce. The chimichurri sauce was good. The potatoes had like an olive oil kind of, I don't know.
And the chimichurri dripped onto it too. You're done.
So good. I actually ate it with that. And it's like steak from like a rodizio.
Well, it's a rodizio style beef.
Or like the old Ohana where they used to take the steak and push it onto your plate. It's like chunks like that. It was amazing. Really good. This is my prediction too. Best of the fest. I don't think I'm going to eat anything that's going to compare to this.
Well, Ryan, what did you get from Flavors from Fire?
I got the Impossible beef slider, not real meat, obviously. Kristen would probably never get this because it has a garlic aioli on it, but I actually don't mind. I've warmed up to it. I know we're siblings, but it doesn't run in the family. So
It used to.
It used to. A lot mushier than I remember from past years. That's pretty good. Jam's pretty good. Bread's a lot better than I remember in past years, so I definitely think this is a step up, even though the beef is a little mushy. It's a lot of mush with these plant-based.
I feel like you could tell how mushy it is just by looking at it.
Squeeze it, it's just gonna fall out. That's the thing. And we were waiting for them to be done, and there was like 9 people backed up waiting for them, so they probably took them off too soon. But it's not like, I mean, it's not real meat, so it's
fresh off the grill.
Yeah.
Fresh off the fire. Well, since we are over here, I wanted to mention there are some booths that aren't opening with opening day of the festival that I gotta admit, I'm kind of disappointed. Both the Gyozas of the Galaxy and the Coastal Eats booth are gonna actually open on September 28th instead of having them open today. I'm not really sure why that is. In fact, it doesn't make much sense to me why you would have these 2 booths not open on opening day of the festival. And it's really disappointing because Gyozas of the Galaxy was the booth I was looking forward to trying the most. They have French onion soup dumplings. How good does that sound? I love French onion soup and I love soup dumplings, so that combo just sounds amazing. I don't know why they're not opening with the festival, but you guys could look forward to those booths opening on September 28th, I guess. It is finally time to make our way into the countries. Mexico is going to be our first stop. We are doing a clean sweep of the menu. We've got everything, 2 of the margaritas and all 3 of the foods. And we have brought our food inside, but it is still so toasty. So I want to get a little refreshed with a nice beverage. Let's sip on this strawberry pomegranate margarita. This has Blanco tequila, mezcal, pomegranate liqueur, strawberry puree, and spicy agave for $13.25. I love to see the hibiscus salt on the rim. You guys know that is my favorite salt. Any margarita in Mexico, if it doesn't come with the hibiscus salt, I always change it to have the hibiscus salt. So I already like it. Think like classic sweet strawberry margarita. Actually, at the end there, the aftertaste, there's the pomegranate. At first I just tasted like sweet strawberry margarita, but yeah, wait, the pomegranate is definitely there. Yeah, the pomegranate comes at the end, but I love mezcal, so it just tastes like a sweet strawberry pomegranate at the end, smoky margarita. If you're more of a fan of like sweet margaritas, this is probably going to be the one for you. I feel like this next margarita is going to be a little more complex. This is the Clarita margarita. It has Cristalino tequila, orange liqueur, and clarified lemon juice for $13.75. So this starts off as clear, but as you can see, there's a piece of dried dragon fruit in the bottom of the cup. So as it kind of like melts into the drink, the dragon fruit flavor is going to kind of take over a little bit, but it's interesting that it's just clear. When they gave it to me, it just kind of looked like a cup of ice water with a piece of like dried fruit in it, but now you can see it's like bleeding a little bit and it's starting to turn a really pretty color of purple. But like I said, this one sounds like it's going to be a little bit more complex and maybe even more like refreshing. So cheers. Definitely more complex. The strawberry one is totally your basic sweet margarita. If I'm being honest, that one tastes like one you could get at most places, but this one is definitely unique, and I want to give it a stir so we can incorporate those dragon fruit flavors, because I feel like this is going to be one that will get better with time as that dragon fruit kind of melts into the drink. And you can see I gave it a stir, so the whole drink is kind of purple now. Don't let this tiny cup fool you. It's tiny but mighty. This is a strong margarita. Wow. But it's really, really good. If you like to taste your liquor, this is the one for you. You get those lemon flavors, but then you get a little bit of that, just the tiniest bit of that fruitiness. Yeah. I definitely prefer this one. But the food in Mexico is always really good as well. This is one of the more popular booths every year. And I want to start by trying the Tostada de Carnitas. This has braised pork atop a fried corn tortilla with chipotle black beans, salsa ranchera, crema mexicano, and queso fresco for $8. I gotta say, $8, a little steep. This is not a big tostada. They do have a giant tostada for one of the festivals. I want to say, is it Festival of the Arts maybe, that they have that giant tostada that I love. This is definitely a lot tinier, but it looks like it's a freshly fried tostada. We've got our beans on there. There's a good amount of pork at least. So there's that. Let's try it out. You can definitely tell this tostada is freshly fried. It's thicker than like a store-bought tostada, so I appreciate that. And although it's tiny for the price, what is on here, like this thing is loaded with toppings for how tiny it is. And the toppings that are on here are really good. The beans are flavorful, the pork on here, tender and flavorful, and that salsa ranchera on here, delicious as well. The salsa is not spicy or anything, it's just flavorful, and I think this is really, really good. The price, not a fan of, but the flavor, I'm a massive fan of. Next, we've got the flauta de barbacoa. This is a fried tortilla filled with barbacoa beef, topped with salsa verde, romaine lettuce, crema mexicana, and queso fresco for $8.75. Now, we're sitting here in La Hacienda right now, and they have something very, very similar on their menu. I don't know if it's with barbacoa beef. It might be with chicken and potatoes, but it's flautas as well. And this is like super similar to that. It looks almost identical. and I love the flautas from here in La Hacienda. So this looks so good. Again, $8.75 for just one flauta, pushing it a bit for me, but I'm sure it's gonna taste great. I really like that tostada, but I gotta say, I think I like this flauta even more. I think it comes down to the salsa verde on the top. That salsa verde just adds like such a great limey, cilantro-y freshness that ties everything together so nicely. And again, that tostada that they're using, or the tortilla that they're using, it tastes so fresh, and it's like so crispy on the outside, but it's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit thicker on the inside, so it is just a little bit soft too, so the texture is just perfect. There's a good amount of beef in there, and the beef that's in there, so good, and so good with that salsa verde. Big fan. Like I said, I think I like this more than the tostada. And now finally, we are on to desserts. Here we have the flan de cajeta. This is a creamy Mexican custard with caramel sauce and toasted almonds for $6.75. Now, I absolutely love almond flavored desserts, so this flan here is right up my alley. I want to get a bite with all those almonds. Oh yeah. At first, I couldn't taste the almond flavor, but then it hit me. It is so good. The almond flavor in that, oh my gosh. Are you loving it, Mom? You gotta wait a second for the almond flavor to hit you, but when it does, I love a flan, but I think that almond takes it up a level. And I love that they have the slivered almonds on it as well to add a little bit of a crunch, because you know, flan is just like a creamy custard. And I love a crunch in any dish that I eat. So that the almonds in there, perfect touch on that. I think that might be, have we even had any desserts yet? Is that the first dessert we've eaten? Oh, the churros. The carrot cake. I might like that better than both. I think that might be my favorite dessert so far. That almond flavor is so good in there. We did have to leave the AC for our next stop. We made it to China. Now, the China booth usually doesn't have my favorite things. In fact, I'd say probably every festival, it's one of the worst booths, actually. But there was a new dish in these noodles that I wanted to try, and I had no plans of getting another beer, but I saw a beer that caught my eye. So here we have the Brew Hub Lychee Fu Draft Beer. A 6-ounce costs you $6, and a 12-ounce of it will cost you $10.75. Now I just got a baby cup, and notice how it's filled all the way to the top. What was that booth? Bramblewood Bites? Take notes. This is how you pour a 6-ounce cup of beer. Now I told you, I don't really like beer, but when I see a beer that's interesting and is supposed to be flavored like something I like, I always want to try it. And I love lychee. I love lychee martinis, so a lychee beer, had to try it out. It sounds kind of refreshing as well, so we'll see if I like it. I taste no lychee, and I taste all floral. It just tastes like a floral beer. I mean, it's refreshing. I'll give it that, but just about any liquid would be refreshing. Right now, that's the point that I'm at. But yeah, it just tastes like a floral beer. I mean, take my opinion with a grain of salt, because like I said, I don't really like beer. I just got it because of the lychee flavor, but I taste no lychee in here. So let's move on to these noodles. These are the Beijing Zhajiang noodles. Sorry for mispronouncing that. These have stir-fried minced beef, cucumber, chili, and carrots in a savory Dubon sauce for $8.50. This is about 99.9% noodles, and then the other 0.1% is beef and cucumbers combined, but this is pretty much noodles. It looks, I gotta say, like very similar to Ohana noodles. They look like very sticky. Maybe they're not sticky. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of the, because like I said, usually China doesn't have my favorite food, but I love like any type of noodles, especially like a chili noodle. So I hope China proves me wrong this festival. These just have like no flavor at all. Like, where is the chili? Like, this has zero spice, zero flavor. I wouldn't even say it has like a soy flavor. The meat is actually good. The very small particles of meat on here, that's where all of the flavor is. That's where it tastes like a soy hoisin kind of seared minced beef, but the noodles themselves are just really, really soft noodles with oil on them. Flavorless and disappointing. Next up, the Alps, where they pretty much have the same menu as always, that raclette cheese, which I definitely cannot be eating in this heat, but to my surprise, they have a new dessert on the menu, so that is what we picked up. This is the Kirschwasser Torte. It has a cherry brandy buttercream, fondant, sugared almonds, and a cherry compote for $5.50. The cast members and I over there were having a great time trying to figure out how to pronounce this cake. None of them seem to know the proper way to pronounce it, so I did my best. The Kirschwasser
Torte.
Okay, that's pretty much what I said.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are letting me know in the comments if I said that right or not. I've never seen anything like this. The cake looks very wet. It almost looks like a tres leches, maybe? And you guys know I love almond desserts already. We just had an almond dessert. So, yeah, this is very, very wet. Yeah, it's got to be like some type of like tres leches.
It's funny because when you put it down, I thought that too, that it looked like the tres leches. Oh, I guess not.
There's a flavor in there that I don't know if I like, but then it kind of grew on me a little bit. Let me try another bite here. Let me get another bite. So the cake itself is not sweet at all. It kind of reminds me of the Baumkuchen that they serve over at Connections in that way. Or almost maybe like an angel food cake. The cherry is super tart. The only almond flavor I'm getting is from the almonds on the outside. It's different. It's unique. I don't know if I've ever had a cake like this. It reminds me of like a cake, like a cruise line buffet dessert. Does that make sense? Well, Germany has the same menu for literally every single festival, every single year. So here at Food and Wine, of course, that is no different. However, I did notice one thing different on the menu. Usually at every festival, they try and change up the flavor of Schafferhofer beer that they have. If you didn't know, the Germany pavilion is famous here in Epcot for their Schafferhofer grapefruit beer. Now it is like the fruitiest beer that is pretty much not even a beer because it is just like fruit juice, but I always like trying the different flavored Schafferhofer beers that they have for the festival. And here for the Food and Wine Festival, they have a Schafferhofer Berry Lime Hefeweizen. 6 ounces cost $5.75 and 12 cost ya $9.75. So let's give this one a try. Of course, I went with the little one to get out. Is this becoming like instead of a Food and Wine Festival vlog, it's like a food and beer vlog? I don't know what's gotten into me. I'm trying all the beers today. That's juice. You can't convince me otherwise. This is juice. I mean, so is it good? Yeah, it tastes like juice. If you're someone who doesn't like beer, this is a beer you'll like because it literally tastes like juice.
I've tried every festival flavor of Schafferhofer, and this is by far the best one. It's so good, so refreshing.
But that is not all we are getting from Germany, because for the first time ever, they actually have a festival food at Summerfest, the quick service restaurant here in Germany. Summerfest is actually located in the back of the pavilion, right next to Biergarten. It's tucked away and a little bit hard to find. But on the menu, they have a new Zweibelkuchen. Again, definitely mispronounced that, so I apologize. But this is a German onion cake with caramelized onions, bacon, herbs, and a savory custard for $9.79. I wasn't really quite sure what to expect from this here. All I saw was caramelized onions, and I knew I had to add this to the list of foods to try. And it's kind of reminding me of almost like maybe a German pizza or like a quiche, because you can see we've got like a custard, like an eggy kind of custard down there, and there are tons of onions. There's like a whole layer of onions, and there's like a little bit of a buttery, flaky crust, and I guess you should eat this like a pizza? I don't really know. The little bottom there, we'll eat it like a pizza. Okay, yeah, this is definitely like a quiche here. Oh my gosh, this will be a really good breakfast to get here in Epcot. If I was coming here early, I would definitely come over here to Germany and grab this for breakfast. I want to get a bite of the crust so we could get a little crust action. So the crust is giving more pizza, but then on the top, we've got the quiche action. So it's definitely a cross between the two. I love onions. I love the amount of onions on here. And the flavor that it adds to this is really, really good. The custard tastes good. The bacon on here is great. And there's a good amount. This is a pretty big piece. It was around $10, so it should be. But this is like a really solid breakfast. It's totally like a quiche. Super oniony. You definitely got to like onions to enjoy this, but I definitely do. It's really heavy as well. It's good. Spain is our next stop. We've got two things. We've got an entree as well as a little sweet treat. We'll start savory with this paella caldoso. This has rock shrimp, bay scallops, and smoked mussels for $8. Now, they've always had a paella on the menu at the Spain booth, but typically it's just served on a black plate. But now we've got a mini little paella skillet. I love the presentation. However, I must say, this looks very, very watery and potentially oily. And it has a very strong seafood scent. So, I'm not sure how this is going to be. I've had the paella in the past, and I remember it being pretty good, but like I said, this looks quite liquidy. So, maybe the rice isn't going to be cooked all the way? I'm not quite sure. Let's just try the rice first. The rice is definitely cooked all the way, but it is very oily. And that first bite there, I had like a pickly kind of flavor. There was like something pickled in there. I'll try a bite with the shrimp. That shrimp does not taste right. It tastes like it's been sitting there for quite a while. I don't know why I'm going to eat the scallop, but I'm going to do it. Very, very salty. You know what? I can't tell if this is like a part of a mussel or like a pickled carrot on there, which would explain the pickled kind of flavor that I'm tasting. But I don't know. The flavors all in this are super weird. The seafood tastes old. It's oily. It's watery. It's just off. This is unfortunately not good. I was hoping it would be good because the presentation is so cute on this, but not a fan of this paella here. Try this, Mom, and let me know if I'm crazy. The thing is, I don't expect like greatness from a festival booth.
Yeah,
I don't expect it, but right. I definitely expect it to taste a little bit better than what it does.
But I don't understand why it's wet. That's not good.
I think this Basque cheesecake here is going to be a bit better. This has an orange sauce for $5.25. Now, while this does here look good, it doesn't look like a Basque cheesecake. A Basque cheesecake is supposed to be burnt, like borderline nearly black, if not fully black. And that adds a lot of the flavor to the cheesecake. That's what it's supposed to be. And this just honestly looks like a normal cheesecake. Like, this doesn't look anything out of the ordinary. If you just gave me this and said it was a slice of New York cheesecake, I'd be like, yeah, looks great. Looks like a slice of New York cheesecake. So it doesn't look like a Basque cheesecake, but it just looks like a good old slice of cheesecake. So I want to get some of that orange sauce. It's really, really soft. I like the flavor, and I really like the flavor of that orange. with it. I've never had orange with cheesecake. I've never even thought to have orange with cheesecake.
Well, when you make cheesecake, you put a
little lemon, a little citrus.
A whole fresh lemon.
Yeah, a little lemon.
So it's probably really good.
Really good with the orange, but it just tastes like regular cheesecake. So if you're in the mood for cheesecake, come on and grab this, but this is not. This isn't Basque cheesecake. Well, we just ate at Spain. That could only mean one thing, folks. We are making the pilgrimage, the moment you have all been waiting for. Italy is up next. You guys all know my sentiments on the Italy booth. It is usually the worst booth of the whole festival, the most overpriced booth of the festival. But I always gotta try it. I gotta get everything to see how bad it is. We have picked up our food, and there is just no way you can tell me any of this is what they actually serve you in Italy. Especially this chocolate dessert. And this vodka tortellini. Do they have vodka sauce in Italy? I think that is an American thing. I'm pretty sure that's an Italian-American thing, but I digress. They do consider this one to be traditional Napoli street food, though, so let's try the bacetti, or the kisses di pizza. This is pizza dough with pepperoni, mozzarella, and tomato sauce for $8.75. Charging $8.75 for a singular pinwheel of bread, mozzarella, maybe like 3 little circles of pepperoni and some tomato sauce. That's actually criminal. That is criminal. There needs to be at least 2 of these if you're charging $8.75. I would even say maybe like, okay, 2 at Disney World, 2 for $8.75, but 1. That's really, really crazy. This dough doesn't look cooked, but I will say the tomato sauce looks good. I see some basil in there. It looks really bright and red. That looks good. It's essentially, I feel like a stromboli, and this is like plastered to the plate.
That's the fancy food is in Disney. It's not cooked.
Yeah, I don't even think this is cooked.
It's like a third party, like caterer almost. Yeah.
Let's try it. Here's the thing. It's bread, it's cheese, and it's pepperoni. It's not going to be awful. The bread is 100% undercooked. Like, this needed to be in the oven for at least 3 more minutes. I would have preferred it to be like nice and crisp on the outside. It totally needed that. The tomato sauce, I was right. This tomato sauce is actually... That tomato sauce is good. It's far better than any sauce that I have had at Via Napoli or Tutto Italia in the Italy Pavilion, the 2 restaurants. That tomato sauce, great. But it's just not cooked enough. And at the end of the day, it's just, again, bread, cheese, and pepperoni. Like, the lack of creativity at this booth every year, every festival, blows me away. How is this all they could come up with? And then the next dish that we're going to try lacks even more creativity. This is the tortellini alla vodka. They are 4 cheese tortellini with vodka sauce, Parmesan, and Calabrian chili oil for $8. So they have essentially just taken a bag of frozen tortellini, a jar of vodka sauce, and done their thing with that. I watched them put the oil on top of this. It was olive oil. It was not Calabrian chili oil. It was not, unless it's like olive oil colored Calabrian chili oil. And if that is, then I'm wrong, and I'd be completely shocked. I love vodka sauce, but this is just so lazy. I mean, I could make this at home in 10 minutes.
How much was that?
$8. That's how much it was.
If they charged 4 or 5, like, okay, all right.
It tastes 100% like frozen tortellini. I make better homemade vodka sauce at home, like, no question. And I want to count how many tortellinis there are. I just ate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for $8. That's what, like 75 cents a tortellini? At this size? Again, tremendo. So let's try the chocolate spuma. This has chocolate mousse, caramel sauce, espresso, whipped cream, and puffed rice for $5.75. The only thing on the menu that is priced fairly, I believe, $5 for a dessert. Fine, I'll accept it. Is this a traditional dessert? Highly doubt it. This is literally chocolate mousse. Whatever these little crunchy bits are on the top are stale. It's totally stale. This tastes like, I would even maybe say this isn't even like chocolate mousse. This might be a box of chocolate pudding. We are following Italy up with a stop at America, and we're doing a clean sweep. We're getting all 3 foods on the menu. We're going to start by digging into this Gulf Coast style seafood roll. It has warm water lobster, rock shrimp, lobster bisque, and a sherry creme fraiche on a toasted brioche bun. The shrimp, it's not deveined. There's some poop in the shrimp there. But this roll looks quite delicious. Toasted, really soft. Let's pour a little butter on our lobster roll. Sorry, seafood roll. Gotta say, it is still delicious. Best part, this bread. It is so soft, toasted to perfection, buttery, and great. I thought it was really weird that they were putting like lobster bisque in this roll, but honestly, I think it works really well, and I'm happy they did, because if they didn't put this in here, it would probably be a mayo sauce in here. And instead of that, they got a lobster bisque, and I love a lobster bisque. And I guess that makes up for the lack of lobster in this seafood roll. And now I feel like they're using, I mean, it says rock shrimp, so that's kind of like a, not a full-on shrimp, it's a better shrimp than just like a regular shrimp. So it is very tender and lobster-esque, but it's nice and buttery. Not too seafoody, way less seafoody than the paella. I do really enjoy this. Next, we have the New England slider. This has slow braised beef pot roast with spicy jardinera, horseradish cream, and crispy fried onions on a potato roll for $6. Now this one, I feel like we gotta just pour a little bit of the jus right on there. Get it all soaking nice. There we go. There's just not a lot of beef on here at all. Like, it's just a lot of bread. The bread to meat ratio is so off on this sandwich. I mean, taking the lid off, look at that. It's a lot of bread, not a lot of meat there. It's definitely very, very dry. Like, you're gonna need to soak this in that jus to really help with that moisture issue. And the beef itself is pretty flavorless. All of that flavor is coming from that horseradish sauce and the jardinera. The beef itself is really, really lacking. And the roll is okay, but going from that lobster or the seafood roll to this roll, it's definitely a step down. The jus is good, the jardinera is good, but really, it's just lacking. If I'm gonna get a sandwich from here, it's definitely gonna be that seafood roll over this one. But finally, for dessert, we have the freshly baked chocolate pudding cake served with a Kentucky bourbon caramel for $5. This here is a fan favorite year after year. I wanna say this is always like a top dessert of the festival for me. But I gotta say, this year, we're looking a lot different. I wanna say this has shrunk down to about a third of the size that I remember. And it also always used to have a vanilla sauce. Now we have a caramel sauce. So we've changed it up quite a bit. It also looks a lot drier than it usually is. So I'm hoping they did not mess with my beloved okay. I said it was dry on the outside, but on the inside, we are still looking good. If you are a chocolate lover, this is a dessert for you. It is like the most delicious chocolate molten cake. Look at that ooey gooey center. It looks dry on the outside, but I tell you, the inside of this is so incredibly moist, and you've got that like warm gooey fudgy center. Oh my God. It is so good. I will say I think I definitely like the vanilla sauce on this more just because the caramel is also like so rich and the chocolate is so rich, so it's like double rich. So I feel like the vanilla kind of like in a way cools it down. If they are gonna do the caramel, I wish they sprinkled a little flaky salt on top. I feel like that would help a bit. The vanilla sauce definitely is the way to go here, but it's still really good. Well, we are nearing the end. We've only got a few stops to go, including the France booth. A lot of the stuff here sounded really good. We got some beef bourguignon. We've got a brioche, a cheesy brioche bun, and we've also got some escargot to try. An interesting take on escargot. And I actually want to try that first. This is the Trio de Escargot. They're a trio of escargot bites and croissant dough served with a garlic parsley dip for $8.95. Now, I like indulging in escargot whenever it's super garlicky, and I could tell you this is going to be super garlicky here. I could just smell it. We'll go for a little dunk in our parsley sauce here and try it out, this parsley sauce. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I would actually love to like pour this over some pasta actually. I feel like that would be good. It honestly just tastes like garlic bread, but on a croissant. Like, I can't taste any of the escargot whatsoever, but it just tastes like a really good garlic bread. Almost a little bit pesto-y from the dip here, because it has some parsley and some other herbs in it. And of course that croissant, the escargot mix on the top of them, they have some herbs in them as well. But yeah, this totally just tastes like a delicious, flaky garlic bread. So I could get behind it. That's quite delicious. And I love a croissant. So picture like garlic bread just on a croissant. What's not to love about that? So I feel like this is a great like introduction to escargot. Like if you're worried about trying escargot because it might like gross some people out, it takes a while to get used to. I feel like this is a good introduction into eating escargot. I feel like this is impossible not to like here. We're gonna get into this brioche next. It says spice brioche with a 3-cheese Mornay filling for $8.50. I feel like out of everything we're trying today, this is the most criminally priced. I know I talked about the dishes in Mexico and some of the other things being super overpriced, especially Italy. This is literally cheese and bread, $8.50. I don't know what's going on there, but we've got our little cheesy brioche, cheese and bread. Again, how bad could this be?
Oh yeah.
Pretty plain. Not too much flavor. It just tastes like a bechamel in there. The bread itself tastes like it might have a little bit of like turmeric or something in there to give it that color. And the cheese melted on top is nice, but at the end of the day, it's just bread and cheese and there's not too much flavor. Not much exciting going on in there, and I feel like they could have done a little bit more, maybe thrown some ham. I don't know, done a little bit something else with this. And especially at the price, I don't know. A little bit disappointed in this one. I feel like it could be a lot better. Would not get again. We'll round this out with the beef bourguignon, which I should really enjoy. This has red wine braised short ribs with a potato puree for $8.95. Let's see if I could eat this beef bourguignon here before it starts to pour. Not the best of presentations here. That's one thing that this festival really lacks. The presentation on all of the dishes, everything is just like put on a plate. There's no thought put into any of the presentations here, which is really disappointing. That's why I love Festival of the Arts, and this is no different here, but I anticipate it being pretty good. I hope the beef is nice and tender. It certainly is. Really tender meat. I could taste the red wine in there. Perfect salt levels, and I really like the potatoes as well. Pricey, but I will say there's a good portion of meat. They also have like a beef bourguignon style dish over at the Belgian booth, but I'll say that one might be like $1 or so cheaper. But I remember last time I got that, there was like no beef in it, and it was just like gravy on mashed potatoes.
Kristen, love your content and your
thank
mom.
you so much. This you actually get way more beef. Like there's a good portion of beef. We've got a couple chunks on there, and the flavor of this, you got a good mushroom. Oh yeah, there's a nice mushroom chunk in here. Super flavorful. This one's good here. Mom, I'll give you $5 if you take a bite of that escargot.
I'll bite it because it's chopped up, right?
It tastes like garlic bread. No, you have to take a bite and you have to get the center in there. Dip it in that sauce. Dip it in the sauce.
The sauce.
It's like a garlic sauce.
I mean, I don't want $5, but...
You did not even get the center.
Oh!
No, you didn't.
I did too. I did. I mean, it tastes like garlic.
Yeah, it's good, right?
It's not bad.
I said it's a good introductory to someone eating escargot.
Yeah, because I would never eat it out of the shells, ever. But that's pretty good.
You heard it here, folks. All right, let's get out of here before it starts pouring. Last year, one of my favorite things at the Food and Wine Festival was this liquid nitro sweet potato mousse concoction from the Swirled Showcase. This year they have a different liquid nitro mousse concoction, and honestly, it sounds even better than last year's. Here we have a liquid nitro frozen pumpkin cheesecake mousse featuring Philadelphia cream cheese, shout out to you, with candied pecans and a maple caramel sauce. You want to try it with me?
Sure.
Last year, I was here with my friend Allie, and we almost did not get this. We were like, I guess we'll try it. We almost didn't get it. And I think it ended up being like my favorite bite of the entire festival, and it was definitely her favorite bite of the entire festival.
Came, she always got
it was so good, and I already know.
I think I'm gonna like this better,
I hope,
yeah. I like sweet potato. Oh my
but
God,
that was so good last year. Yeah, it's really frozen, but it'll melt over time.
I can't even get a piece. Try a different section. I really can't get anything. Oh, here we go.
Crack down on it.
It's kind of big.
That's a big piece.
I know.
I'm holding it on the bottom,
I got a
so.
little piece. Okay, here we go.
Cheers.
That's good.
We saved a good one for last.
It does taste like pumpkin cheesecake.
It's so cold though.
But in the best way, because I just checked the temperature. It says 85, feels like 94. So it was 10 degrees hotter earlier.
And it's cloudy.
And it's cloudy now.
And it's about to rain. Yeah. That is so good.
I'm going back to
I love that caramel too. It's so rich and thick. And those pecans, I remember loving that last year too. The crunch from the pecans, and there are so many on here, which it needs. It needs that. And this only gets better over time because it like softens up. This is so good. Well, folks, before we head out of here for the evening, we still have one more order of business to take care of. I need those fried pickles. I'm hoping there's not a long line in the Odyssey. I can't leave here tonight without getting those fried pickles. Here we go, the moment of truth. Oh my gosh, it's still busy. Oh my gosh, it's still busy. I might wait, guys. I might just do it. I got fried pickles on my mind. I can't help it. The pickles have officially been acquired. I'm so happy, guys. I have been looking forward to these all day, all week. These are one of my favorite festival foods of all times. They've had these for a couple years now. And when the Food and Wine Festival is going on in Epcot, I literally get these every time I come to Epcot. I can't come to Epcot and not get them. It's not right if I don't get them. These fried pickle spears are served usually with a dill ranch for $5.75. Now you may be noticing, I didn't get them with the dill ranch, of course. Usually comes drizzled all on top, but I got them without, and I think I might have gotten the short end of the stick with these fried pickles. They look a little beat up. They're hot, they're fresh, they're crispy. Usually the pickle inside is a little bit thicker, a little bit juicier, but I feel like these pickles could just do no wrong. It could not be the best pickle in there, and they're still gonna hit every single time. These are seriously such good fried pickles. If you're a fried pickle person, you guys gotta come try these out. I love them. Of course they have the pickle milkshake here, but I like these fried pickles. These fried pickles are the way to go. Don't get the milkshake. Get the pickles. The fried pickles. Well, that is going to do it for our day in Epcot. We officially tried 33 food items. There was, of course, a ton of good food today. A lot of really good new food as well. I think my number one dish of the day had to be that Rodizio beef. This dish hit on all levels, flavor and value. It was really good. I also really loved the seafood roll from America, the trout from Bramblewood Bites. This one shocked me with how much I enjoyed it. This sandwich from the Forest and Field booth was great and a dish I feel like I'm gonna go back to a bunch of times during the festival. If we're not considering price, I really liked the flauta from Mexico. The pumpkin cheesecake mousse was definitely my favorite sweet bite of the festival, and I can't mention my favorite foods without mentioning the fried pickles from the BrewWing Lab. Now, of course, there were also some dishes that I really did not like and I probably wouldn't recommend. Of course, pretty much everything from Italy was a miss, no surprise there. I didn't care for the cake from the Alps. The noodle dish from China just tasted like overcooked noodles tossed in vegetable oil. And my least favorite dish of the whole day was probably that paella from Spain. Now, if you guys were at the festival, you'll have to comment down below and let me know what your favorite dish that you tried was. And if you weren't, remember this year's festival runs through November 22nd, so you have plenty of time to explore all of the offerings at the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, shout out to everyone over on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.